I truly believe that it is our birthright to become enlightened in this lifetime, to truly heal our past, empower our present, and manifest our future highest self. If you are ready to transform your life, you definitely want to listen to this podcast. Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Hi there, I am Dr. Erin. People call me Dr. E. I'm a Doctor of Divinity and Master Spiritual Coach, and this is a series I'm doing on E4 method, a method that was downloaded straight from source and I created that is all about current life regressions, past life regressions, and future time compressing to manifest your highest self. So this is the third out of a handful of a series on E4 method. I've gone over kind of the bigger picture of what I consider kind of the missing key to manifesting. There's a lot of people teaching manifesting out there. And quite frankly, my skin kind of cringes when I hear it, like so many others, because manifestation is not just about manifesting a bunch of things. I believe that manifesting without spiritual awakening is really a trap. It's really a dead end road. And so manifesting is what we're here to do, but we're really here to clear out the soul, to manifest our highest self, to really awaken, to know thyself and become enlightened and fulfill upon our soul's purpose here and really become the most expressed spiritual being we can be as a unique divine expression. So in the first E4 method series, I kind of went over that bigger picture of using what I would call the magic lantern kind of metaphor of understanding that it actually is a negative command in moments of trauma and in moments of high states of emotion, which create high frequency and vibration. We declare and command a negative statement, a negative belief, a negative identity, things like, I'm not enough, something's wrong with me, love abandons, whatever that is. And these negative commands go into what, the metaphor of the magic lantern, AKA the universal law, and they project and reflect back into our lives. So oftentimes we'll see in our lives and other people's lives the same theme going on over and over again, right? No matter how much work you do, how many courses you take, how many whatever, something's missing. We see our friends that are constantly doing work and nothing's changing. They're having the same dysfunction in their relationships, or they just keep getting into new relationships and the same dysfunction happens, or they can't break through and have abundance in their life. Their money story stays the same, right? Or people who have chronic illness and are just always struggling with it, or people that just can't find purpose in their life. And so it really is diving into what's that missing key? Why isn't this working? And how to actually get results through doing deeper soul clearing work. I truly believe that manifestation and really creating what we want in life has nothing to do with being positive per se. It's about releasing the subconscious blocks and learning how to master the mind to be able to choose to create in harmony or discordance. So in this episode, I want to get into the 4 steps to transform your life. So we first have to define, what is E4 method? E4 method is a technology to remove subconscious, energetic, and emotional blocks. And we do this via current life regressions, past life regressions, and then we flip the process and we do time compressing to manifest the future higher self. It's a revolutionary set of processes to release limited beliefs, false identities, and really the stuck patterns that are happening from a subconscious perspective. And along with the current life regressions, past life regressions, and future time compressing to manifest your future highest self, we also use E4 for emotional mastery, to actually be able to transform and transcend right here in real time the emotions and the energetics for whatever's happening in your life. And then on top of these processes, when you're doing E4 or working with a practitioner, we also help people birth their soul's purpose and create their life's manual so that they can get really clear of their core values, their life's mission, and really come into a place where they're able to be empowered and know their policy and procedures so that they become the CEO of their personal and professional life. So that's a lot to handle, right? But basically, bottom line, is in the second series of E4, I went through my own personal journey. And I was somebody who, coming from a fairly traumatic upbringing. My mother was an alcoholic. My father went off to go have another family. I was kind of a latchkey kid. I didn't have a lot of kind of parenting. I was kind of a disaster, a hot mess, you'd say, right? I was bulimic from 17 to 20 after having a date rape. And I thought all my problems would be solved if I just married somebody. So I married somebody that I barely knew. We got pregnant and I had a full-term stillborn at the age of 22. And that was 30 years ago. So in this journey of declaring that I was going to, seek my spiritual nature after, seeing my baby's body, he was gone, but his body was here. I realized he's a spiritual being. And I realized at that moment that I was a spiritual being. I didn't know where to go or how to heal or how to figure it out. So I began this journey of taking courses and reading books and doing all this stuff. And as I stated in my second series, that I found the Law of Attraction, the secret documentary, which made me really realize that, wow, this manifestation thing can work, but something's missing. And that's when I began to really discover the E4, how to download from source, and really broke on down the four kind of aspects that I broke it down into, which is the E4 method. So in this process, you can really take a look at this in going in the past or in the present or in the future. But the four steps of E4 is number one, experiencing. Whether we're going back into a traumatic incident, we want to go there in regression. We want to be there and just as is it, really fully experiencing it as if it's happening right now and right here with just the facts, okay? The second E is what we call evaluation, which is actually no evaluation. We don't put any story on it. We don't put any meaning on it. We don't evaluate it, which is completely opposite of what a lot of psychology processes and things do, right? Talk therapy. So we go in there and we're having regression and we're experiencing it, just the facts. The second E is no evaluation, no backstory, no meaning. Okay. So we're really as ising it, accepting it as it is. The third E, which are emotions, basically fully experiencing the emotions without resisting the emotions, again, without putting meaning on it. And for most people, rarely have we ever experienced emotion without putting a negative meaning around it. And what this does is it actually neutralizes the mental pictures around the incident that happened. And in that, we begin to neutralize past traumas, even past life traumas. We begin to neutralize it, right? And then the fourth E is what we call enlightenment. And enlightenment basically is where we're looking at, what did you decide? What negative commands did you decide in that moment, right? What false identity, what limited beliefs were declared, right? We're having revelation around the negative commands. And then we scan over whatever happened over and over again for a new revelation. Because what happens is as we're fully experiencing the emotion, fully as-ising it without meaning, it begins to dissipate. The charge begins to dissipate. And a new enlightenment comes about for the client, okay? And we make a new declaration, right? Instead of saying, someone says, I'm not enough, all of a sudden they have a revelation that they decided that. And that command has been playing out their entire life. And in that moment, they have revelation and they restore their power and they can have a new declaration for their life. So the four E's are ways, it's basically how we create. Okay. So if we're going to a past situation or a past life situation, we're basically neutralizing it. We're basically taking off the charge. We're not putting meaning out. We're taking off the meaning. We're as-ising it and seeing it exactly as it is. And now if we're future manifesting in those same E's, what are we doing? We're mocking up a vision, a picture from source to have that mental picture because we live in a mental universe and we're actually creating it into existence. So we first envision it. We first have a possibility. And what do? We begin to put meaning on it. We begin to put frequency and vibration. We begin to feel like a biofeedback because the brain doesn't know if something happened in the real world or just in the mental world. We begin to energize it. We begin to amplify it. We begin to see this mental picture. So this creation of the four E's happens both ways. We can actually go back and we can take off the meaning, take off the charge, take off that and neutralize it and be free from it. And we can also create and manifest, quantum manifest our future self, future things we want to create in the world by amplifying it. So the four E's are ways that we can take all emotions and transform them. We can take all past traumas and transform them. We can take and actually energize our future self through it. So the four E's, again, we're experiencing as if it's happening right now, whether it may be something that happened in the past or something that we want to create in the future. We experience it in our mind. Okay. The second E is if we want to take creation off of it, then we take evaluation, backstory, meaning off of it. If we want to amplify it in the future, we put meaning on it, we put feeling on it, we put emotion on it, we charge it up, right? If we want to take away old creations and be the effect of creations, we take and neutralize the emotions. We fully feel it, but we don't put meaning on it. We just let the emotions to go through. If we want to actually create in the future, then we're amplifying it through emotions. We're feeling it. We are feeling it as if it's happening now. We're putting meaning on it. We're feeling all the emotions. Okay. And then if we're going into the past and we want to get rid of a creation, we are looking at what negative commands did we decide that went and actually tagged our DNA and actually went into the subconscious and has been playing out like little soldiers down there for our life. I'm not enough. Something's wrong with me. Love abandons. No one listens to me. All those false lies and false identity, right? We're neutralizing that and getting that off the track. And we're making a new, real truth declaration of what we do want to believe. I am worthy of love. I am enough. I am heard. My voice matters. Okay. And in the future, time compressing, which we're going to get into in a later segment, but we're basically amplifying the mental picture through feeling, through declaration. We're making positive commands for our life. And this is a process that we train and certify and accreditate coaches in, because you don't just do it a particular way. You have a very specific way of watching for indications and phenomenons and things that we're looking. We scan over these four processes over and over to have full revelation, to have freedom, to have enlightenment. That's what we're doing. And this is the truth, is that you are a spiritual being. You are an all-knowing, all-powerful spiritual being. The same consciousness that created your lack and scarcity and division and discordance is the same consciousness that can create and amplify the empowered you and harmony and love and prosperity and abundance and vitality. It is the same consciousness. And this is the missing factor of most manifestation coaches out there, most manifestation processes. They just want to go to the positive. But if they don't deal with the subconscious identity and all that stuff, it's not going to work. It's not going to stick. It's not going to stay. So it's not about getting positive. It's about removing the subconscious blocks that are tied to your epigenetics. Your soul is actually made up of all of the karma and all the trauma and all that limited belief and all the tags on your epigenetics. And your epigenetics, your DNA of the epigenetic of your DNA is tied to the Akashic records, which is all the mental pictures of the universe. You are source. You're one with the I am. You're spirit. That's the volition. That's the choice. And it goes through the filter of the subconscious mind. So doing your soul clearing work and E4 method is imperative to be able to actually fully experience what you choose and the manifestations that you want to make. I always like the metaphor of the sun. The sun is your true essence. But oftentimes between the sun and us is clouds. And those are all the false beliefs and the limited identity and all that. You feel divided. You feel like it's dark down here. So our work is to get those clouds out of the way, to re-experience our true divine power. Another metaphor that I love to use is the faucet. right? If sometimes you have a faucet, you turn it on and the water's not coming out of it, it's barely dripping. And you have to take the filter off of the faucet, right? And you got to take out the granules and all the little sand and clean it out, right? You got to clean out that little thing. And then you put it back on and then you turn on the faucet and the faucet flows. It's the same thing with us. We have to actually get out of the way. When you do your inner soul work and E4 method, you naturally have prosperity. You naturally have good relationships. You naturally have expression. You naturally have a unique divine expression and birth your soul's purpose. It's the truth of who you are. Okay. So the 4 steps to transform your life is to understand the creative process. Source consciousness is a pure consciousness. The truth of who you are is pure potential. But you're here in this soul assignment with limited beliefs and tags on your epigenetics. And your actual purpose in life is to clear your soul, to really birth and be able to birth your true self through a pure soul. That's your soul's work. Your soul's purpose out there is to help others heal and have triumph over the same things you had to deal with. That's your soul's purpose. So E4 method, what is the difference? What's the benefits, right? The benefits of E4 method is that you're here to literally neutralize the mental pictures of the past, to clear the soul. You're here to understand what your negative commands are so that you're no longer the effect of it. And you're here to birth your soul's purpose, to truly have triumph over those challenges, to help others, heal from the things that you went through. So just a few other questions. How is it different? How is E4 method different than other manifestation processes? And this really is the difference, is that we don't just manifest, we actually clear the soul so that we can become the highest version of ourselves. We actually consider that you are the manifestation, and what is projected out in your life is the demonstration. You are the manifestation. You're here to manifest your highest self, your most powerful self, your most clear self. We're here to do the soul clearing work to be able to naturally become the highest manifestation of ourselves. Next question is, what's the difference from other trauma processes? There's lots of great trauma processes and tapping processes and all that. We love all that. The difference is E4 method not only just neutralizes the mental pictures and the triggers, but it actually goes further, and it goes into, again, being able to reach enlightenment. It goes into understanding the false commands and false limited identities that were decided in those traumatic incidences. And it births the soul's purpose. Okay. And then what are the changes that you see in people's lives? Oh my gosh, I can't even count the ways. I see people having absolutely transformation in who they are energetically, emotionally. I've had people have testimonies that they have more enlightenment and more movement in 2 sessions of E4 than 4 years of therapy. Okay. I've seen people be able to make no money and be broke to having $40,000 months. Okay. I've seen miracle upon miracle upon miracle. We have thousands of testimonials around E4. And so I can't even count the ways. But the greatest testimonial that I ever have gotten from E4 is when I hear people say, hey, I got myself. I became my own best friend. And that for me is the greatest, benefit and the greatest testimonial you can get. Okay. So on that note, you guys, let's get down into this week's universal law lesson, which is the lesson of the universal law of giving and receiving. And the truth is that there's no difference between giving and receiving. But the truth is that the only place that you can receive from is from God's source within. You can't get love from the external world. You can't get prosperity from the external world. You can't even get vitality from the external world. You get it from source. Source is that which actually projects through you of love, and then it goes out and it receives back, okay? You can't have a loving relationship unless you're able to give it and then receive it. You can't get prosperity unless you give value and then you can receive the value. You can't get vitality unless you have life force coming through you that can actually put you into environments. It is the life source that actually chooses to put yourself in healthy environments, okay? It is that we know this through so much science now, that you're not even the effect of your DNA. You're actually that in the mind that creates the emotions in your body, actually creates the low stress and is able to choose to put yourself in incredible environments. This is the truth of giving and receiving. You are the receptive temple of God source that can give and receive exponentially. And so I'm just knowing this absolutely as a spiritual mind treatment, knowing right here, right now, the truth of who you are, knowing that you are the receptivity, you are the giving and the receiving, because you are the I am, you are the divine. I know that right now, right here, that there is the power within you to transform anything of your current life, anything of the past life, and you're absolutely able to manifest the future highest version of yourself right here with the power of mind. I recognize that this is the creative factor of life, the life force, you, the I am. And so in this, I'm knowing great simplification of the 4 steps for you to understand that you create through the meaning, you create through how you energize things, you create through the vibration and frequency that you choose to create through the meaning and the response of and the creation of whatever it is that you are creating. And I recognize you can transform your life with the power of consciousness. It is your birthright to have prosperity, it is your birthright to have vitality, it is your birthright to have love and expression and purpose. This is your birthright. Your birthright is to clear your soul and know thyself, and the truth of who you are is love, is vitality, is prosperity, is abundance, and is love. I simply know this. It is done, as together we say, and so it is. And so it is. Okay, you guys, if you're not already in our community, you can grab the free Universal Law Calendar below, follow along with the newsletter and podcast each week, get your mind right, understanding universal law and the spiritual psychology coaching. And you can also come into our community and get certified or accredited as a spiritual psychology practitioner coach and in E4 method in all the current life regressions, past life regressions, and future time compressing and emotional mastery. Okay. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and may you live the truth.